Yo, yo, yo. Thank you for tuning in to Week 11 predictions with your boy, Belby, aka the Jersey Kid, aka the Fab Father, aka the thickest ginger, aka the beer guy, aka the captain of Cavs, aka your girl's favorite layup package. And Week 11, we made it. We're here. And, last year I had about a 40-minute prediction video, had all the bells and whistles, all the guest appearances, you name it, that video had it. This year, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do short, quick, to the point. This video's, gonna be quick, bing, bang, boom. Probably leave you unsatisfied, kind of like a night spent with John Wilson. I can say that because he's never gonna watch this. So, anyway, what a horn dog. But let's get straight into it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and yeah, man. Let's get straight into it. No wasting any time. Speaking of the devil, J Will versus Brett. Hopefully you can share my screen or you can see my screen. I believe that you can. J Will versus Brett. I took a glance at these matchups before we started. Brett's team kind of like reminds me of one of those novelty drinks. You know those milkshakes you get? I think they serve them in like mason jars or something, and then like it costs you like $27. It's like a milkshake with like a donut on top, and then two scoops of ice cream, and then whipped cream, and then like some pretzels, and then some drizzle, and then like the fucking thing is here. The lid or the top is here, and then like the milkshake is like all the way up to the ceiling with all this shit they're piling on it. You're like, oh my god, that's incredible. That's kind of like Brett's team. A lot of flash, little substance. The reason I say that, I'm sorry, Brett. I know he's gonna at me and be like, yo, what the fuck? The reason why I say that is because his backfield. Well, like he's got the big names. Let me start with that. That's what I mean by that. He's got Herbert, Brees Hall, Javante, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelsey Swift, Marquise Brown, DeAndre Swift, all these names. But so it's a lot of flash, little substance. The two backs, they're on terrible teams. Brees Hall, Javante, they don't score a lot of points. The offenses don't score a lot of points. I think the Jets, sorry, Oscar, Jets, Jets. I think that they've scored one touchdown in the last like 19 quarters. The Broncos are a little better this year, but most of their production and their touchdowns have come through the air, believe it or not. Let's ride, Broncos country. So, you know, his team is solid, but it's a lot more flash than substance. And if you look at it a little deeper, you kind of peel back the onion, you realize that it's not as impressive as it seems on first glance. When you come over to Jail's team, he's got Kamara on by. That's big for Brett. But he's got Devontae's been slacking, but in theory, he's got a strong core in CD Devontae, and then he's kind of got some supporting cast who, unlike Brett, kind of like a polar opposites here. J Will has like not very sexy names, but they kind of just get it done. Checo's been solid. Najee started bad. He's been better. Mostert, he's been pretty good. So not having Kamara is big. As you could see, did not replace his kicker. Ironically, it's Jay has been a little busy with the young hoes to deal with young ho here. So I don't like that attention to detail. That's kind of like bad omens. So even though I shit on Brett, I'm gonna give it to him. Next matchup. Oscar versus Dempsey. We'll start with Oscar's team. Oscar's got like a strong top four right here: Stroud, Gibbs, Henry, Cup. I think this is a big week for Cup. He's kind of had last 3 weeks in a row have been really poor, like 4, 5, 4, something like that, fantasy points wise. The first two were just straight up bad. I think the last one was largely due to Stafford's thumb injury. So this, coming off the bye, I think this is a big week to see how Stafford looks and how that affects Cup and Puka and the Rams weapons. So this is a big week for Cup. If Stafford looks bad and Cup doesn't get it done, I think this is like smash the panic button. He's too high of a draft capital player to have that type of dry spell. And so coming off the bye, this is like a massive, it needs to be a get right week for Cup, Puka, and that offense. If Cup or if Stafford, excuse me, does not look healthy, I think that's massive. Smash the panic alarm. Henry, I was looking at his box score the other day. King Henry, the Yeti, the abominable snowman. It's just like, unfortunately, I think this might be, he's so fun to watch. He's probably one of the most fun players in fantasy to own. But it seems like this, I mean, look at his carries 11, 12, 13, 11, 15. Like, I'm lucky enough to say that when I owned him was pretty much, not pretty much, was the peak of King Henry. I don't think he had less than like 25 carries in a single week when I had him. It's like between 25 and 35. It was like not out of the ordinary that like multiple weeks in a row would be like 30, 32, 29. So, this is not your grandfather's Derrick Henry season. Let's put it that way. And that's Oscar. It's not your fault. You made a move. You had to try and make a move, get some wins. I like that. So you got a strong top four here. The bottom half of your team, like Oscar, might as well just be, starting no one. I think if you benched literally everyone else from cup down, you'd have the same chance to win as you have with them in. So they're there. That I can say that about them. They're there. Coming over to Dempsey's team. Dempsey's team is just very indicative. Kind of take after their GM. It's just like plain white toast with butter. Just not much to see. It gets the job done sometimes. Not much to write home about. Murray kind of injects some much needed electricity into this team, but of course, in classic Dempsey fashion, he like shoots himself in the shoulder and decides to pick up Kyler and start him right when Dak's like going off. Would have been better just playing Dak the whole time. But Olave and by hurts. He doesn't have this flex spot filled. And so I will say this before I move on. I don't want to make this too long. Because the bottom half of Oscar's team is like Make-A-Wish candidates, every one of these guys is like the floor is lava. So this is a week where Dempsey could theoretically average his way into a win, as he's been saying. But I don't love the fact that he doesn't have this flex figured out. And yeah, I don't think single tutty goes off again like he did last week. Evan Ingram is the Jags look terrible. It would be pretty funny if Zay Flowers, Dempsey said in the chat, I reverse jinxed him. If Zay Flowers goes off tonight, that would be kind of funny. But I don't see that in the cards. He'll probably get 6.2 like he always does. And I'm gonna take. I think Oscar's top four will be enough to get this done. So I'm gonna take Oscar. Moving on, Brendan and Dugas. I actually think Dugas's team, now that they're a little bit more healthy, is not as bad as people have been making it out to be. I mean, Jones was hurt, so it's good getting him back. Pollard is dead. Goodbye, gone. Sayonara, waivers. Just get rid of him. Obviously not waivers. I'm being a little facetious, but I mean, he's dead. He's just, classic. Similar to like Madison, actually. A couple of these guys who were beloved as handcuffs got the opportunity to like take the reins this year and just have fumbled the opportunity, whether that's his own doing, his talent. Some people think after that injury at the end of last year, I think he broke his foot or something like that. Some people think he like doesn't look as explosive. Maybe it has to do with play calling. I'm not really sure, but he's dead. 10 weeks in, I think it's safe to say he's dead. Dugas throwing him in anywhere. Respect the commitment, Dugas. I mean, I guess that's the commitment of a married man right there, just throwing him in there. But Gus Bus gets 2 touchdowns like every single week on like 8 carries for 15 yards. I don't know how sustainable that is, but he's been doing pretty well. Rashad White has been a pleasant surprise. He actually looks pretty good running the ball. He has good chunk runs for Tampa Bay. He's kind of like a bright spot in that terrible team. And then Jake Ferguson has been another big surprise, pleasant surprise for the Cowboys, and the solid receivers with Keenan and Metcalf. So if Dugas, can stay healthy, kind of, Pollard can wake up a little bit, and Jones can stay healthy. I don't know what this questionable tag is on Keenan, but think Dugas's team has a chance to kind of make a run here and sneak into the back of the playoffs. Brennan's team, I like that he's got this QB controversy going. You got to make the boys work for it. So Tua and Dobbs out here battling. I've said this in the chat. I'm going to say it again, Brennan. I'm sorry. I think he overdid it. He overdid it with the trading. I mean, I don't think he's going to start Williams and Jaden. I think he's kind of just like throwing them out there. Unless I'm missing something, I think that Connor should be good to go this week. Noah Brown has been super productive if he can be out there again. I don't know, his production is kind of directly linked to like whether Nico Collins plays or not. So I don't know if Nico's playing or not, but overall, I don't really care who Brennan plays. I'm going to take Dugas in this one. Next, Pat versus Arjun. Pat's team, I glanced at this one before. It kind of is like similar, reminds me to a little bit of like Oscar's team. You got Lamar, Eckler, Saquon, Mike Evans. Very solid, like core four right there. And then the rest of the guys, you just light a match, throw them in the trash, and just poof, and just absolute disgustingness. This is, I said before, this is not your grandfather's Derrick Henry. This is not your grandfather's dual tight end. Let me tell you. I mean, Cole Kmet and Trey McBride. Jesus Christ, Pat. I mean, if you need to talk, buddy, just reach out. God. I mean, Addison kind of looked like he was donezo, and then Dobbs has been playing well, so maybe Addison can be resurrected. But he's got the solid four, and the rest of it is just not great. Arjun's got a solid squad. I mean, especially if Jefferson's back this week. I mean, Jefferson and Brown paired together, that's potentially 70 points in your lineup between two guys weekly is intimidating. So that's going to be tough. Jalen Hurts, good quarterback. Who else? I kind of like. I noticed, I was looking at this before. Like I said, I did. Kyron Williams, I haven't heard a peep on him. He obviously started on a tear. I don't know what his deal is as far as expected timeline, if he's coming back, if he's not. I have not heard a single peep on his injury. So if he could come back, I mean, that would be big for Arjun. I don't think he could. I mean, he was so productive. I don't doubt he could replicate that again. Number one, because it just seems like he's due to kind of come back to earth, like regardless, but also coming off the injury. But still, that would be big because Arjun's short of running back. So if Jefferson goes, I like Arjun's receivers. I like Tank, AJ, Jefferson, and I know Deontay had a bad week, but like I kind of like that. I think Deontay is like, he's not the explosive guy. He's kind of like the consistent. He's going to get you like 12 and a half, 13 and a half, like weekly, 8 receptions for like 82 yards and no touchdown. But I think that's a nice pairing to have with the explosive nature of like Tank, Jefferson, AJ. So, I mean, Arjun's probably more plugged into his team than I am. I would lean towards throwing Deontay in there the way he has it. I'm going to I'm going to lean Arjun, but this is a close matchup. This is maybe the closest matchup of the week. I mean, I can definitely see Pat getting it done. If Jefferson plays, I think that's a big factor because Jefferson playing would benefit Arjun while also probably taking away from Addison. So that's something to watch. If Jefferson doesn't play, I'd lean Pat, but I'm going to stick with Arjun for now. Next matchup, Keith versus O'Connor. O'Connor, scumbag, jail. I don't know who this guy even is anymore. He goes out to Seattle. It just falls apart. As far as he used to be man of honor, man of integrity, man of the academy. Now he owes $15, something that was in his control. Very clear laid out league rule, and he won't pay it. Just shameful. Keith's team is not very good. Not very good at all. He has, Bijan had 22 carries last week. I think he's on bye, but just moving forward, I think that the Arthur Smith got abused enough that they might start to change that a little bit as far as giving him more work, giving him more goal line carries. He got a touchdown last week, so that's good. So Bijan, McCaffrey are a good base, but Hopkins, DJ Moore are these type of players where they're going to either have like 35, like 3 touchdowns and like 35 or 40 points, or they're going to have like 2 points. And usually it's like 4 weeks in a row with 2 points and then a 40-point breakout. So I'm not going to bet on the 40-point breakout. I'm going to bet on the more likely scenario, which is that they both bust. And you might have thought that I was going to say O'Connor's going to win, but O'Connor's team stinks. And like I said, scumbag, jail, throw him in jail forever. And so just out of honor integrity, I'm going to pick Keith until O'Connor evens up with the league. And last but not least, man, it's like even when I'm trying to go fast, I'm still slow in this thing because there's just so much to talk about, man. It's football. I mean, hang on. Can we just take a pause? Brian Windhorst. You smell that, gentlemen? That's week 11. I want you to take it in one more time. Do it with me. Take it in. Football's here. We still have it. You can't take things like this for granted because the season goes fast. Now, is basketball back? Is it way better? Is it way more entertaining? Yes. Is it more fun to watch? Yes. Are there better athletes on display? And it's a superior sport? Yes. Are there a bunch of gross, disgusting, ugly football games? Yes. Are they painful to watch, gouge your eyeballs out with a blunt spoon pad? Yes. Will I still watch them? Yes. And so, one more time. Ready? You got to enjoy it while it's here. It's only here for so long. And so enjoy it. Week 11, it goes fast. So, but into the last matchup, I don't even know how I got on that. But yeah, enjoy it while it's here. Smell the roses. Last matchup, me versus Big Nitty. Big Nitty's kind of like he's got a decent squad. He's got the 2 backs. He's got Mr. Ints himself, Josh Allen. But Nitty kind of jumps out of me as like one of those teams who and again, this is fantasy. A lot of it is out of your control. You got to do the best you can. There's luck involved, but kind of like one of those teams that just peaked too early. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe people in the chat are saying he's on a 5-game losing streak. I'm going to fact check that for you right now. Belby'sGotYou.com. L4. He's on a 4-game losing streak, soon to be 5. But yeah, his team just kind of strikes me as like one that peaked too early. ETN, Kenneth Walker were like absolute monsters out of the gate. And, he got off to this great record, bunch of points, bunch of touchdowns, and then they've kind of been coming back down to earth. Josh Allen is throwing interceptions, left and right, like it's nobody's business. Then he's got Gabe Davis, who, again, he's kind of one of those guys like DJ Moore or Hopkins, where he's going to like blow up or give you a donut, and majority of the times it's a donut. And the problem with him too is his blow ups are not the same as DJ Moore or Hopkins. It's like he's giving you 20 or he's giving you 1, and most of the time it's 1. And then Amari Cooper, I mean, he's been really solid. Unfortunately for Nitty, that pervert just went down for the season. So now that really affects Cooper. Kind of really doesn't. I mean, he'd probably be better off with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker with PJ Walker. I believe that they just announced DTR starting, but so that really hurts Cooper. That's like potentially like 3 points combined from his 2 starting wide receivers. Smith, Devonta should be better without Goddard. And then again, not your grandfather's dual tight end. I mean, this is just gross. Coming over to my team, and we're gonna give you give you just a better look so we can get this team in color. Listen, I know you guys don't want to hear this, and you're probably gonna, Belby, he's just talking, blah blah blah. If you're being honest with yourself, and you've made it this far, some of you probably just watch your own, matchup. You're gone. Some of you, like John, chasing Punani, don't even know your kicker's out. Oh, look at the Dolphins. Oh, did I get an ass in there? Oh, whoa. Like, come on, man. But if you made it this far and you're watching and you're honest with yourself, we have a couple honest people. O'Connor's not one of them, but we have some honest, integrity based individuals in this league. then you'll realize that, like, and I've never said this before. So don't just say it. This is, oh, don't be talking. But I kind of got a little Team of Destiny vibes going on here. I really do. I mean, you need a couple things to win a championship. You need like rock solid superstars. I got two of them. Tyreek Hill and Amon Ross St. Brown, rah, like a dungeon dragon. Absolute rock solid superstars. You need a couple, you need a steady quarterback. I got Joe Burrow. And then you need breakouts. You need a couple breakout league winner type guys. And I mean, between A Chain, Keaton Mitchell, um, you know, I got a couple guys that really fit that mold, and then, add in Jerome Ford has been rock solid. And then, after that, I really only, I got a couple really solid options to switch back and forth between, Ramondre Dombie, but Ramondre Ridley's been disappointing. I don't even fucking need that guy. I wish I could be a little bit more colorful in my language here, but Oscar puts this on public YouTube, so I got to be careful. But then I really, Taysom is a cheat code. He's a quarterback, running back, wide receiver that plays tight end. So that's been a real treat at my tight end position. But with those two absolutely electric, and we'll see what's to come with Keaton Mitchell. I'm throwing him out there tonight, baby. I'm throwing him out. But I really only have one spot to fill, and then I'm going to do this live here at 7:58. We're throwing Tyler Boyd in. We're throwing him in. All right. This has never been done before, ladies and gentlemen. This is a first. We're throwing him in the lineup. Kicks off in about 17 minutes. But yeah, with Amon Ra, Tyreek, Burrow, we got the tight end filled. We got the A Chain and Keaton Mitchell, two electric backs. Then we have two like rock steady backs with Jerome Ford and Ramondre Stevenson. And then I have super productive guys that could fill in, injury buys with JSN, with Jalen Warren's, had to come up last couple of weeks. I don't know. I mean, I think you guys might have, in a couple of weeks, you guys might look back and be like, damn, how did we let Belby get A Chain and Keaton Mitchell? Both those guys are like absolute little freaking scud missiles, little piss rockets out there, just, two touches and getting two touchdowns on two touches for 60 yards each. And I mean, once they start getting 10, 12, 14 touches, I mean, it's game over. So, yeah, I mean, and this is objective, ladies and gentlemen. This is full on objective. And if you're being honest, if you're not O'Connor, if you're not a scumbag, then you'll agree with me. So my team's kind of got Team of Destiny vibes. I had to give them the spotlight here. I think they just deserved it. And I'm picking myself in this last matchup with Big Nitty's boring ass celery team. And yeah, that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for watching. Try to make this fast. I think it's still 20 minutes long. I apologize if you watched the whole thing. I love you. Friendsgiving, going to be a blast. Dempsey susceptible to attacks, says Oscar. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, love you, boys, and see you soon. Good luck to everyone, and enjoy the week. One more time, Brian Windhorst. Hang on, I'm blocking myself. Brian Windhorst, one more time. Smell the roses. Don't forget to smell the roses. Enjoy football. Enjoy tonight. Peace, gentlemen.